So in this video, I want to talk about one laptop that is super underrated and is misrepresented in the gaming laptop scenario. And the laptop that I'm talking about is the Acer Aspire 5 with the Core i5 1240p and the RTX 2050. Now the reason I'm talking about this laptop is that one of the most popular budget laptops for gamers is the HP Victus with the RX 5500M or the MSI Bravo 15 with the RX 5500M. And I've got a lot of comments on my HP Victus RX 5500M video where they want to purchase HP Victus because of the good CPU, the good performance and the great battery life, but they want to use that laptop for content creation, like for video editing and doing stuff like, in SolidWorks, using stuff like Blender and all those things. Now the problem is that the RX 5500M GPU or any Radeon GPU in particular is really good for gaming and they provide really good value for money in terms of gaming. However, their productivity chops is not that great. I don't know whom to blame. Should I blame Radeon team for not putting more effort on their productivity side, or shall I blame the industry for not adopting AMD's ways? I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that the Radeon GPUs are much more focused for gaming rather than content creation and productivity. So that's when I reluctantly have to recommend them to go for GTX 1650 laptops, which is just what they get in that budget. But again, the GTX 1650 is also not that much better than the RX 5500M in terms of video rating. That's because the GTX 1650 itself is really old with a really old architecture and really old video encoders. Although it is still better than 5500M, but it is still quite old. So budget content creators, those who are looking to purchase a laptop for productivity, they want to use the laptop for making their own deep learning models. Let's say they want to use the laptop for video editing, they want to use their laptop for running SolidWorks, they want to use their laptop for 3D modeling in Blender. GTX 1650 also kind of fails in my opinion. This is where the Acer Aspire 5 with the 12th generation Intel Core i5 1240p and a 35-watt RTX 2050 comes into the picture. This laptop is amazing for those people who is looking to create content on a budget, or the budget content creators, those who don't have a massive budget for big gaming laptops with, let's say they don't have a budget above, like, let's say 65,000 rupees, where they cannot afford to get a good 3050 laptop. This is where the Acer Aspire 5 comes in at 55,000 rupees. Buy from Apparel retailers, which are the most legit retailers on Amazon and Flipkart. Buy from them and you'll get the laptop at 55,000 rupees. So why am I recommending this laptop? So the Intel Core i5 1240p is a 28-watt part. It's got 10 cores in total, and it competes quite well with the Ryzen 5 5600H, which mostly runs at 40-45 watts. Maybe in most of the benchmarks, the Ryzen 5 5700H will slightly beat the Intel Core i5 1240p, but they both are quite close in the real world. But the good thing is that the 1240p requires less power at just 28 watts, which is more manageable in this chassis, in this thin chassis. Also, the Intel Core i5 1240p has the Intel Iris Xe graphics. Now, no matter how much we troll Intel for their gaming performance with their integrated graphics, the Intel HD graphics or the Intel Iris Xe graphics have been really good for video editors. They work really well they have like really good video encoding and decoding performance with regards to various types of footage, especially when you use it in Premiere Pro. So I've always seen in experience that Intel QuickSync, or they're basically their video encoders, Intel iGPU video encoders, have really worked well, and they are actually quite a bit better than AMD's video encoders present in their iGPUs or in their Radeon graphics in terms of video editing. So the Intel Iris Xe graphics is really helpful for video editors. Now coming to the RTX 2050. So 35-watt 2050 is actually slightly worse overall in terms of gaming performance compared to a 50-watt GTX 1650. It's just that it has very less power pushed in this chassis. If it would have been 45 watts, then at 45 watts the 2050 is actually better than the 50-watt GTX 1650 without using DLSS. If you use DLSS, then the performance is even better. But this is a 35-watt RTX 2050, so let's not talk about gaming. The gaming is not like fully better or something like that. It's actually slightly worse, or just matches the GTX 1650 50 watts. However, in terms of video editing or productivity performance, it is a massive improvement over the GTX 1650. First of all, the RTX 2050 has double the number of CUDA cores compared to the GTX 1650. So 1024 CUDA cores in the GTX 1650 versus 2048 CUDA cores on the RTX 2050. Also, the RTX 2050 has tensor cores for your AI applications and deep learning models, and it also has got the RT cores for ray tracing, in productivity. I'll tell you how it helps. Just because it has double the number of CUDA cores, it already makes its video editing performance and video encoding decoding performance quite a bit more better than the GTX 650. In fact, the GTX 650 actually has a really old NVIDIA encoder versus the latest RTX 3000 series encoders present in the RTX 2050. There is a very big difference in terms of video encoding and decoding performance. So basically for video editors, the RTX 2050 will be much better compared to a GTX 1650. Also, if you are using stuff like Blender, then there is no competition. The RTX 2050 using RTX optics. So RTX GPUs have the advantage of using RTX, so optics rendering API, and that will just destroy a GTX 650 or any Radeon GPU when it comes to Blender render performance. So it's a no-brainer. If you are into using Blender as a beginner, you are a beginner looking for a budget laptop for Blender, then this laptop will be amazing for you because it is the cheapest laptop that will give you access to NVIDIA optics. And lastly, what I want to talk about is this laptop at 55,000 rupees has the advantage of Thunderbolt 4. So this laptop actually has a Thunderbolt 4 port, which means you will be able to connect external GPUs in the future with this laptop. So you can already connect external GPUs, but I'm talking about future proofing. Let's say you want to keep that laptop for many years because the CPU is pretty good. You can connect external GPUs to this laptop and even improve its performance further. So you can buy a dedicated GPU and buy a dedicated Thunderbolt 4 compatible dock, eGPU dock, put the GPU in the dock and connect that GPU with the laptop. When let's say when you are at home and you're sitting on your desk, you can actually connect an external GPU and get amazing performance from that GPU. So Thunderbolt 4 port at 55,000 rupees is amazing. I think it's the cheapest laptop to provide you with Thunderbolt 4 port at this price range. So superb. It's amazing. So that's why I wanted to talk about this laptop. It is perfect for budget video editors, budget laptop buyers who are into stuff like Blender and all those things, productivity oriented applications. This Acer Aspire 5 is highly recommended. So that's it for this video, guys. The link to the laptop is down in the description. Consider purchasing from the link down in the description. That helps all the channel. And if you are new to the channel, then definitely subscribe. And let's reach 7,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Alright guys, take care and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.